Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Financial Aid Night. We are happy to have you all join us today. We have a lot to go through today, and we want to. Hey, Google, stop. We want to make sure that we invite. We want to say thank you to all of our presenters, but most importantly, that we want to thank all of you for attending this event. And if you forget some of this information or didn't write something down, don't worry, we will put this information on our website because it is being recorded. So please remember to go visit our Montgomery College website under financial aid, and we will have this uh, uh, presentation uploaded soon on our website as well. But again, thank you to all of our presenters and all of our guests that are here and all the participants that are joining. We know that the financial aid journey is a very long one, but we are here to help, not only through financial aid, but to getting into college, to staying in college and succeeding and graduating. That's the whole name of the game. And that's what you're going to get tonight. So we're happy that you're all here and we're excited to start the presentation. We're gonna start with our PowerPoint presentation. Again, welcome and thank you for attending. And we will have a short video showing you the overview of financial aid. So please stay tuned.
College can be overwhelming, both in terms of coursework and in terms of money. Student debt is real, so is the stress that comes with it. You could get a student loan, which you'll have to pay back. You could also get a student grant. Those you don't pay back. Even if you can't afford tuition, you can still be eligible for grant money. There are a lot of federal and state grants out there, but figuring out how to apply for them isn't always easy. Montgomery College's Financial Aid Office can help you with this, as well as other concerns you might have about how to pay for school. It's not just state grants. MC offers institutional aid, which means the college itself will help you pay for classes. The Financial Aid Office provides answers to questions like, can dropping a class affect your financial aid status? They'll also let you know those oh-so-important deadline dates. There are online forms to submit in order to receive financial assistance. Don't worry, they don't take long to fill out, but they have to be submitted before their deadlines. Otherwise, you won't be eligible. To get started, fill out your FAFSA form. You can easily find that at fafsa.gov, not fafsa.com. Only use the .gov site because this is a free application. The .com site will charge you money. The deadline for the FAFSA form is March 1st, but only for state grants. You can still submit them after March 1st if you're applying for Pell Grants or student loans. If you've already submitted your FAFSA form, you'll need to renew it after October 1st each year to catch those Maryland grant opportunities. Also, go to the MDCAPS website to submit your high school diploma, accept awards, and apply for additional grants. Just Google MDCAPS and it'll be right there. If you're an undocumented student, you'll need to fill out their MISFA form. But remember, never fill out both the MISFA and the FAFSA. Your immigration status determines which form is right for you. Now, this can be a lot of information to take in, but the Financial Aid Office will help you make sense of it all. That's what they're here for. In fact, they can help you out before and even after you register for classes. Find out if MC's Financial Aid Office can help you pay for college. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Financial Aid MC. You can also call them at 240-567-5100 or send them an email at financialaid@montgomerycollege.edu. To learn even more, go to MC's website and search Financial Aid.
That was a great video, a lot of information there. That video is also saved on our website, as you saw there on the video, montgomerycollege.edu. And also, we want to remind all of you that if you have questions, please use the Q&A feature inside your Zoom. So please leave your questions there. We will get to those questions later on in the presentation. Okay, so remember to ask as many questions as you like through that Q&A feature, and we will take care of those questions later in the presentation. But now I want to turn it over to our colleagues, our friends in the recruitment office right here at Montgomery College. We have our colleague Nicholas Void to present on the YMC and MC enrollment steps. Take it away, Nicholas.
All right. Good evening, everyone. And thank you all for having me. And thank you all for joining us for our virtual financial aid night. As Gustavo stated, I'm from the MC recruitment team. My name is Nicholas Boyd, and I'm one of the recruitment and college access specialists. So I just plan on taking just a couple of minutes just to talk to you a little bit more about why attending Montgomery College could be a great choice for you. And also just to kind of briefly touch on the MC enrollment steps. Okay. So we'll go ahead and get started. So of course, Montgomery College is one of the best community colleges in the nation, and we'll get into rankings a little bit more in just a second. But we do want you to understand that by attending Montgomery College, it is an education that's made for you. So depending on what you want to do to advance your professional career or your educational career, please let us know, and it's our job to put you on that track. By attending MC, you can earn an associate's degree. All right. You could continue your education. You could change your career if you're looking to gain new credentials to be able to advance that career. Also participate in online learning, and also you could graduate from Montgomery College and or choose to transfer to a larger four-year college or institution, and of course, improve your job skills. So we might serve a number of different purposes for your own aspirations. So please let us know how we could be of any assistance to you. Next slide. All right, so at MC, we want you to picture yourself here. So of course, this is an image of an actual MC graduation. All right, so before you even get started, and if you've never taken a college class or a class at Montgomery College, we want you to envision yourself at Montgomery College's graduation, because that's the overall goal, whether you receive a certificate or an associate's degree from MC. And just to talk to you a little bit more about some fast facts, and even once we get to the next slide, it has more statistics to show. But the average faculty to student ratio at MC is 1:18. Okay, so it's right in line with the national average. If you pride yourselves on a smaller, more intimate type of classroom environment, not too big that you're lost within your class, or not too small that you don't get a variety of viewpoints, but it's kind of seen to be a perfect size that'll allow you to get to know your professors on a personal basis. We do offer over 100 degree and certificate programs, all right? And we are considered one of the most diverse community colleges in the nation, as we have at least 160 countries represented throughout the student body. And you can also see a glimpse of that diversity in this image here taken at the MC graduation. We do have 3 competitive honors programs, and if you choose to, you can take a semester off at Montgomery College to study abroad in another country or continent. If you're a fan of sports or you play a sport, MC provides you with a great athletic environment. We are in Division I and Division II. So we can provide you with athletic scholarships. All right. So definitely practice that craft if you feel as though you want to continue your athletic career in college. And we have at least 450,000 MC alumni spread throughout the globe. All right. So we want you to picture yourself here at Montgomery College, one of the best community colleges in the nation. Next slide. All right. So just a couple of more statistics to show. It looks like my arrows were a little bit displaced, but it was just 3 areas that I wanted to pay attention to, and you can feel free to read through the various statistics that you see on this page. All right, but this is newly released statistics, I'd say. And you'll see that the annual tuition and fees at Montgomery College is just above $5,000 a year. And do understand that that covers 2 semesters at MC. And not to spend too much time here, this is a financial aid specific event, so they'll speak a little bit more about the costs. All right. But we also wanted to point out that 49% of Montgomery County public school graduates who stay in state for college attend Montgomery College. All right, so maybe you want to take a semester or a year to stay closer to home. Just do understand that you'll be attending one of the best community colleges in the nation that'll prepare you well, whether it's for a job or whether it's to transfer to a larger 4-year college or university, which we'll talk about more in just a second. All right, you'll see that we served just over 40,000 students, credit and non-credit. And we do have 3 campuses: Rockville, Germantown, and Tacoma Park, Silver Spring, 2 training sites, 3 community engagement centers, and of course, we have a online campus as well, where you could take your classes online. All right. So this is just a couple of statistics just to kind of make you aware of how we perform at Montgomery College. And again, please let us know how we could be of any assistance to you all throughout this journey. Next slide. And of course, at MC, we have over 100 program options. And this slide, the goal of it is to provide you with a closer glimpse of the classroom environment. At MC, you will definitely be able to take advantage of hands-on learning experiences, in living color experiences, where you're not just being lectured at by your professors, but you're actually able to get out of your desk, maybe even leave your classroom setting to take part in hands-on learning. So you'll see an example of a student or 2 students working in our culinary classroom. All right, that's on the Rockville campus. It looks like to the right of that image, it looks like you have 2 students that's working in a laboratory sort of environment, maybe a biology class at Montgomery College. You even have an image of nursing students who are walking across the bridge at Tacoma Park Silver Spring campus, where the nursing program is located, and also the automotive technology program located on the Rockville Gudelsky Center as well. This is just a couple of program images that we chose to showcase, but please understand that we offer over 100 program options, and chances are, if you want to pursue it, we can provide you with the information needed or the academic track to get you there. All right, so definitely you could definitely count on technology in your classrooms and that in living color experience at MC. And also, with respect to the amount of programs that we offered, I stated that we offer over 100 program options. When you get a chance, you should be able to click the link at the bottom of this slide, but you'll be able to take a closer look at all of the academic programs that we offer. And just from this slide, and they're kind of categorized, but you'll have options of business and hospitality, chemical, biological, and physical sciences, communication and the arts, computer and information technology, criminal justice, humanities and social sciences, design and graphics. Next slide. And also digital design and web development, education and teaching, emergency preparedness and fire services, engineering and math, nursing and health sciences, and trade and applied technology. As you can see, we encompass a great range of academic programs. So depending on what it is that you are interested in, please let us know. And we'll put you on the academic track that'll eventually lead to you carving out a successful career in these various industries. All righty, next slide. And of course, by attending Montgomery College, you can transfer anywhere. We've had at least 1 student transfer to at least every college or university throughout the nation. And I know that you'll see a couple of logos here on this slide. This isn't the only amount of institutions where students transfer to, but it can be seen as some of the most frequent institutions. Of course, we have a great transfer agreement with the University of Maryland, College Park, and that is our top transfer destination among students. And that transfer agreement is through our MTAP program, where you can, if you receive a degree from Montgomery College, you guaranteed admission into UMD. All right. So that's just one of the benefits of attending Montgomery College first, or maybe you wanted to attend UMD, but you weren't granted admission as it is a selective institution. You can instead choose to pivot to attend Montgomery College first and then transfer to your ultimate destination. All right, but you're not only limited to UMD, you could transfer to any Maryland institutions, or maybe you want to transfer across the country. Maybe you want to attend UCLA or Stanford University or Harvard University. Then you could begin your education at Montgomery College and then transfer again to your ultimate destination. Okay. And when you get a chance, you can, and you see at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, it encourages you to search ArtSys. ArtSys is our transfer system where you could actually see how many transfer credits or how many credits you take at other institutions will transfer to another institution as well within the state of Maryland. All right, so again, you could just go to montgomerycollege.edu and type in transfer agreements or career services to learn more information, or just simply type in ArtSys as well if you want to explore this tool. But also last thing before we leave this slide, please remember that during your first 2 years of college, you have to take the general core curriculum classes, the Englishes, the maths, the science, the histories, and things of that sort. All right. And please remember that no matter what institution you attend, you have to take those classes. H2O means water, no matter what school you attend. I do encourage you to consider attending Montgomery College for maybe a year, maybe 2 years, receive a degree, and then transfer to your ultimate destination, as you'll be able to save a great amount of money, and you'll also be able to earn your college credits that will be transferable. Next slide. And with that being said, you'll see that just over 13,000 Montgomery College students have transferred to a four-year institution in the past 3 years. All right, so I promise you, if you want to transfer to another institution, we want you to transfer there just as much as you want to be there as well. All right, but we're a great starting point for you all. All right, and again, utilize us and look at us as another option for your collegiate education. We'll give you a great foundation, and you could take all that you've learned to transfer to another four-year college or university, either in the state or nationwide. Next slide. Lastly, I know I spoke a lot about graduating from MC and receiving a 2-year associate's degree or transferring to a 4-year college or university, but do understand this is not the only group of students that we serve. Maybe you know a particular career that you want to get started in, all right? Or maybe the career that you're pursuing doesn't require credit courses, okay? A good example of this is my wife is a project manager, and she's actually utilizing this workforce development and continuing education program or non-credit courses to take her project management certification tests, all right? So maybe you want to advance your career a little bit further, gain additional credentials, or maybe just want to earn a certificate of some sorts in a non-credit program. We do encourage you to do so, all right? And maybe you're in career transition, maybe you plan on re-entering the workforce, all right? And all of these types are among our 25,000 non-credit students each year, all right? And so please feel free to utilize this service or this route should you choose to. Next slide. And also MC is nationally ranked. I did a couple of times make the statement that we're one of the best community colleges in the nation. And I promise you, I'm not just saying that. All right. If you look at the first bullet point, you see that MC has been ranked the #7 best community college in the United States by WalletHub. All right. And you can feel free to read through the rankings as you see it on the screen. But one other area that I always want to bring attention to, of course, is that MC is ranked the best online community college in Maryland as well. Maybe you love taking online classes. I know I speak to students that love it, and some might not love it as much, but do understand that whether you would like to take in-person classes or online classes, we'll provide you with both options and avenues. Okay. And as you can see, MC is highly ranked in a number of different areas, and we're also seen to be one of the most diverse community colleges in the nation, if not the most diverse community college in the nation as well. Next slide. And of course, it's not just about classes. Even if you earned a 4.0 GPA in your classes, it doesn't necessarily guarantee you a job or a successful career. All right. You'll be off to a great start, but you also want to do the things that will allow you to pick up the soft skills, being able to speak in front of a group, being able to brush shoulders and network with other students and professionals and mentors and things of that sort. And being able to join the or become involved with the offices of student life, student health and wellness and athletics will allow you to do so. So of course, we offer stellar academic programs, but that's not all that we offer. And please be sure to take advantage of these avenues, just to, again, take your education and make it a little bit more in living color and vibrant so that you could truly enjoy your time at Montgomery College. Next slide. And of course, you could save money. And again, I'm not going to spend too much time on this point just because of the purpose of this event. But as you can see, a county resident will pay just above $2,500 per semester. All right. And then you can see the various rates, whether you're a county resident, state resident, or a out-of-state resident. Okay, but as you can see, MC provides you value that you can afford, and you'll learn more about applying for financial aid and utilizing those funds to pay for your education at Montgomery College. Next slide. Okay, and this is our MC Wrap the Reference Enrollment Guide. Not to spend too much time here, but once you apply into MC, and if you're graduating fall 2023 from an MCPS high school, the MC application, it will be released for fall 2023 on October the 1st, okay? If you want to get started for this upcoming spring 2023 term, we'll love to have you. And the application is currently available right now if you have not yet applied. But definitely during step one, you want to submit your application into Montgomery College by visiting montgomerycollege.edu/apply, or just visiting the homepage and hitting the apply now button. All right. And then after you apply into Montgomery College, you'll be provided with an acceptance letter, and then you'll utilize the credentials on that letter to be able to log into your MyMC account. And then that allows you to do things such as submitting your financial aid forms and things of that sort, which you'll learn a little bit more about throughout this program. Okay, but again, not to spend too much time on the enrollment steps since it is pretty early in the enrollment process. But if you would like to download this Wrap the Reference Enrollment Guide, please feel free to visit montgomerycollege.edu/future students. And then you could download this guide that maps out your step-by-step enrollment steps to take after you submit an application into Montgomery College. And if there's anyone in attendance today that has not yet applied, please be sure to do so at your earliest convenience. All righty. Next slide. And of course, we do have upcoming events. Okay. Sponsored through the MC recruitment team. We have an enrollment information sessions. The next one will be occurring on Monday, October the 10th at 6:00 p.m. All right. You should be able to click that registration link, but again, if not, feel free to visit. You could submit your registration by visiting montgomerycollege.edu/future students to register for the event there. We'll also be hosting an adult and returning student information session on Monday, November the 14th. And we always host our weekly new student enrollment information walk-in hours every Thursday between the hours of 5:00 and 7:00 p.m. And again, if you're unable to click the links on this slide, visit us at montgomerycollege.edu/future students, and you can register for our events at that point. And of course, thank you all so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you for your time. Also, thank you for taking part in our financial aid night. And if you have any questions or if you need any assistance from myself, please feel to email me at nicholas.boyd@montgomerycollege.edu. And again, to explore the MC Future Students webpage, please click the link there or visit montgomerycollege.edu/future students. Myself and my colleagues on the recruitment team would love to serve you. And it's our job to help provide you with a smooth transition into your start at Montgomery College. So please let us know how it could be of any help to you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Nicholas. Bravo, way to go. Thank you very much for all that information. A lot of great information about Montgomery College and how to start at Montgomery College. And also I want to thank Camille for adding the links on the chat to some of the things that Nicholas was referencing to. So remember to please also check the chat for additional supporting links. And if you have specific questions, remember to use the Q&A feature right there on your Zoom so we can take care of your questions. We really appreciate that. And we're going to keep the show going. We have not just one, but two presenters here from the Achieving the Promise Academy. I'm going to let them introduce themselves and give them a warm welcome. Thank you.
You are on mute, Leah.
Okay. Hello and welcome, everybody. I want to thank everybody here for coming and also for giving us an opportunity to talk about the academic coaching program at Montgomery College. Today, we're going to go over, you're going to get a lot of information. And at the end of it, you will say, okay, where am I going to start? The best place to start might be to get yourself an academic coach. So you can have somebody navigate this system for you and find the resources that you need for your academic success. My name is Leah Tedla, and I am an academic coach with ATPA. ATPA stands for the Academic Achieving the Promise Academy. Today, Dr. Wilda Ab, Chairnet Wilda Ab, and I will take about another 15 minutes of your time to talk about the benefits of joining the academic success coaching program at Montgomery College. So at the end, maybe you might have some questions, save it, and we will go over that with you. So ATPA, also called the Achieving the Promise Academy, is part of the core services that we provide to students. We provide embedded academic coaching for course success. We have personal academic coaching for college success. We have drop-in coaching services, and also student success workshops and events that take place on a regular basis. Actually, we have these workshops on a weekly basis. Let's go to the next slide. So our mission is really to empower you to reframe academic challenges, and so that you can reach your full potential as you build on your strengths and target areas for growth and access the resources that you need to succeed. We intentionally create an environment one-on-one with you where everybody is welcome and there's value, we give you value, you're valued. So when we do academic coaching, we partner with you, the student, to achieve your academic goals and to help you develop good academic skills, knowledge, attitude, and habits that contribute to success in college. Next slide, please. So what is academic coaching? Now, I will try and play this video, but if it doesn't work, I encourage you to take a picture of this so that you can play it later on, but let's see if it works. What is academic coaching?
Achieving the Promise Academy, Montgomery College's academic coaching program, was created to help ensure that every student has the assistance, opportunities, and tools they need to succeed in college. MC students have several options for working with an academic coach at no cost. Students can drop in with an ATPA coach right away, or request a personal academic coach and receive ongoing support until they graduate or transfer.
My coach doesn't add any more pressure to me, he just adds the support that I need.
Just by telling me, don't worry, we can make it, always encourage me. And those are the kind of people that I need around me to succeed in my life.
Students may also receive support in historically hard-to-pass courses from specialized embedded coaches. Embedded academic coaches help students understand difficult course material, prepare for exams, improve academic habits, and more.
I really care about my students, and I know that they know I care about them. I've seen students transition from having a C to an A within the course of 2 or 3 months.
Students can also participate in success workshops during the weekly Learning Community Hour and ATPA's annual retreat.
The workshops were great. I went to a study school workshop where they did a whole overview on how to study, when to study, and where to study.
When you get together with all the other students and all the other coaches is very inspiring, and it helps you see that other people are in the same spot that you are in.
The Achieving the Promise Academy has been shown to help students build confidence, improve grades, pass classes, and stay on track.
You know, college is hard. Not only is the material hard, navigating the process is hard. Everybody needs a coach. It's not embarrassing to ask for help. It's a sign of strength.
Thank you. And Leah, to add here, and for those who want to watch the video again or who would like to share with others, I just put the link in the chat box.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Welda. Okay, so what is academic coaching? In general, academic coaching is, as I said, an ongoing relationship that you establish with your coach and regularly check in to monitor your success, your motivation towards your goals and your training and required skills that you might need. It's also to get feedback that you meet with a coach and take action to achieve any academic goals you have, or get feedback on how you're doing so that we can find solutions for some challenges that you may have, so you can continue in your success to achieve your full potential. Next slide. So who benefits from academic coaching? Everyone can benefit from academic coaching. People today you might have heard of coaches in music or sports, but everybody, and career coaching as well, but everybody can benefit from academic coaching. And when is the right time for an academic coach? Really, anytime, I would say. When you're succeeding and want to continue, you can get an academic coach to help you, to get motivated and achieve more, or find additional resources to expand your educational reach, or to learn more about transfers or other university programs. And then when you're struggling and you want to make some changes, then you can get an academic coach. But all of the above is right. When you're struggling as well as when you're succeeding is the right time to get an academic coach. Next slide. Next slide. And what is academic coaching? Okay, we have another video here so that we can help you in general understand what academic coaching is. And then I will go specifically into the 4 programs we have at ATPA to help you identify where you can access resources at MC. Is it possible to play it? Can we play the video? Hello?
So sometimes these videos are not functioning. But again, I just put the link in the chat box.
Okay.
So you can use that to watch the video.
Okay. So when you have spare time at the end of this presentation, please go on this video, what Dr. Chernet sent, and just listen to it to just learn about academic coaching in general. But we'll talk about it during this presentation as well. Next slide. Okay, so I talked a little bit about this. Your coach in general can help you schedule the practice time, give you feedback, and motivate you to keep going. But no matter what, in a relationship where you are with an academic coach, you have to shoot the free throws. Next slide. Okay, so our program, what does academic coaching look like at Montgomery College? We have one program and 4 services. We have personal academic coaching for college success. This is where you get a personal coach until you graduate or you transfer. And your coach will provide you support across all classes to achieve your short and long-term goals. This is where you set up regular coaching sessions and focus on the skills and the habits and the mindset that support your academic success. Here you will also learn about tuition, academic supplies, and laptop resources that we have for our students, ATPA students that are enrolled in the program and that meet the minimum qualifications for tuition assistance. The second portion is embedded academic coaching for course success. Here, it's specialized coaching for that semester, and there is support in specific classes that are historically harder to pass. And you can schedule weekly coaching sessions here that will help you persist, prepare for exams and assignments, and master specific academic content. Here also we provide people that are, students that are enrolled in this program and are meeting all the requirements can get tuition, academic supplies, and laptops if you're eligible. The third part of our program is drop-in academic coaching. This is where you make an appointment and meet with a coach on a short-term basis. It's typically one time, and it addresses short-term student needs. It's focused on specific problem solving and action planning. The support to request a one-on-one academic coach is online at Montgomery College on the website, and you can make an appointment with coaches. We have drop-in coaching services from Monday to Saturday, and there are lots of times that are available for you so that it meets with your schedule. Now, the fourth part of our program is Learning Community Hour, workshops and events. These are weekly learning workshops that we put together, and they are divided into 2 half-hour sessions. The first half hour is specific on developing a certain skill that you might need to succeed. It could be learning how to take notes, how to manage anxiety during exams, or how to manage procrastination, avoid procrastination, getting things done on time, things like that. And then the second half hour during the Learning Community Hour will be where you commingle with other students and learn more about how you can manage your academic courses and demands at college. Here, there's also, you connect with other Montgomery College coaches, staff, and professors, and also, as I said, with one-on-one with students during this workshop. So we have these 4 programs, and it's for you to take advantage. All you have to do is, again, it's free, and all you have to do is very easy. The easiest way would be to drop in on one of our drop-in sessions and to talk to an academic coach about joining the ATPA program. Next page, please. Okay. What can you work with on a personal academic? How can you work, and what can you work on with a personal academic coach? You can work on and ask your academic coach about any questions you might have about college. It could be about creating a personalized academic success plan. It could be how you can balance school, work, home, and other commitments. It could be about setting your goals and then developing better habits to achieve them. It could be making the most of Montgomery College by getting more connected to other students, your professors, and departments. Next, I think you're next, Dr. Chernet.
Yeah, thank you, Leah. Thank you for such wonderful presentation. And my name is, as Leah mentioned, Chernet Weldav, and I'm also one of the one coaches in Achieving the Promise Academy. And this is my 6th year to coach. And as Leah mentioned before, our service has 2 main categories in one-on-one coaching and embedded coaching. So in embedded coaching, how does academic coach provide embedded support, for example? So let's say if the student is taking psychology course, so the psychology professor will just come there and provide the embedded coaching through, it can be attending classrooms with the students and engage with the students' activities in the classroom. And the academic coach also connects with the students by scheduling coaching sessions in out-of-class sessions where they can discuss any chapters the student may need help, or any written assignment that you or she want to review with the academic coach. And they also provide this embedded coaching or embedded support by sending or communicating through weekly email with the students. They send emails, for example, by recapping course content, reminding about deadlines, assignments, and everything, because since the students are busy and they may just don't keep the deadline. So this academic coach will help in that too. And they also refer to relevant resources, relevant materials. So they're helping in that too. And they also communicate or work together with the host faculty so that they can coordinate or they can cooperate to help students in becoming successful. Next slide. So here you can see as just a sample how an academic coach provides an embedded coaching. As you can see on the screen, this is Dr. Sohila Ibrahimi, one of the embedded coach, and she's a biology professor. For example, she's saying that she's supporting by circulating through the lab, for example, or maybe by scheduling academic or coaching sessions outside of the lab. And she may also demonstrate critical reading and note-taking skills for biology. Just like the one-on-one coaches are providing these note-taking skills in the classroom, the embedded coaches also support the students by providing note-taking skills. And as I mentioned before, they also make connections across the course topics, and they also provide planning strategies, academic planning strategies. And they work with the students in modifying academic habits and share passions of learning that specific course. Next slide. I'm just going fast because of the time. So feeling defeated, yes, as they are mentioned before, an academic coach can help you bounce back. The only thing that's needed from you is to join ATPA. I know maybe some of you who are attending this seminar already joined, but those of you who didn't, I really recommend to join this free program. Next slide. Yes, our coaches. This slide just to give you an idea about who are our coaches. So they are part-time faculty, and they are also full-time college staff who are able to serve as part-time faculty. And the ATPA staff also will provide this academic coaching. And most of the coaches in our program are they have master's degree or higher, and they are embedded coaches, and they have also college level teaching experience. And most of the coaches are in sections they are coaching, or they are from the field they are coaching. Next step, next slide. Yes, this is also to give you an idea of the embedded coaching and the one-on-one coaching. We have about, if I'm not mistaken, Leah, you can help me here. We have about 50 or more coaches, no?
Yes.
Academic coaches, yeah. So this is just to give you an example. So we have an embedded coaching and we have one-on-one coaching who are really, and you can just review their bios on our website, which I just put it in the chat box when Leah was presenting. Next. Yes, so we are ready to help you. And what Leah mentioned before was the drop-in academic coaching. I was trying to put the link in the chat box, and for some reason, I don't think it's still active. So you can use this link to book a drop-in coaching. So anytime you can just go to this link and book drop-in coaching, and then an academic coach will help you.
Just to add here, if you forget this link, or just go to the website and in the search bar put drop-in coaching, and it will come up. You can just book us.
Next slide. And we have also workshop and every Tuesday and Wednesday we have what we call it learning community hours. And on Tuesdays it's from 12 to 1, and on Wednesdays from 4:30 to 5:30. And during this time we just invite different presenters from different professions, and most of the workshops are really relevant for the students. Like, it can be on time management, it can be on how to study smart, it can be on financial issues and how to apply for financial aid, or it can be on note-taking skills, how to avoid stress. And we have a workshop on a variety of topics. Next slide. These are just the testimonials from different students who have been just benefiting from our program. So you will have these slides and you can get more information about that. And if we go to the next slide, you can also watch this video. And this is just a testimonial. If possible, if we can play it, that would be great. But for some reason, some of the videos in these slides are not functioning. Yeah, so you can just go, I can just put the link in the chat box and you can just listen to these testimonials. And on the next slide, you will get the information how to connect with ATPA. You can just take a screenshot, or you can just, I can also already put it in the chat box, and you have all this information on that website. And if you have any questions, we are ready to answer during the question and answer sessions. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Walda and Tedla, Ms. Tedla. We really appreciate that. Was the first half of our presentation. This second half, we're going to talk about financial aid, from everything from federal financial aid to state financial aid to Montgomery College's financial aid. So thank you for holding on to this second half portion. And we are about to start the financial aid overview. This is an overview of the financial aid. So let's start with this. The types of financial aid, just so that we are all aware of them. There are different types of financial aid. Number one, there are grants and scholarships. Grants and scholarships are basically free money that you do not have to pay back. And it'll vary the amount from student to student, how much you will get. Can we go back to the previous slide? And we also have a financial aid called it's called loans, and you'll pretty much already know how that is. You have to pay those back. And there's also employment. Sometimes you can work on campus. It's called work study. That is a type of financial aid that you basically have to work. So you have to do this on your own. You can work on campus. So just so that you know, again, grants and scholarships, loans, and employment, aka also known as work study. Carly-Beth, do you want to talk about the sources of financial aid?
Sure. So there are different sources of financial aid. There's state aid, there's federal aid, which comes from the federal government. For example, the Pell Grant is federal aid. And what they were mentioning earlier about the deadlines, that March 1st is the deadline to apply to the FAFSA and in order to get state aid as well. And they were mentioning how for federal aid, you can continue to apply even after the March 1st deadline. But we just want to stress that it is important to apply early. There's also, can you go back to the previous slide, please? Okay, there's also institutional aid, for example. We're going to be talking about that later on, about foundation scholarship, which is institutional type of aid, which comes directly from MC. And there's private sources of aid, as well as if you work for an employer, sometimes they may offer certain scholarships that you can apply to. We're not going to get into that aspect of it, but we are going to talk about all the other types of aid.
So back to the federal government, which is one of the largest sources of aid. The federal government has financial aid, and in order to receive that financial aid or to be considered for that financial aid, you need to fill out the FAFSA application. The FAFSA stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, and it's basically an application that collects your information. When you fill that FAFSA form out, it will consider you, the student, for grants, which is free money, for work study, where you can work on campus, and loans that you have to pay back with interest at some point. So again, the FAFSA is just the application that helps you be considered for all the different types of financial aid that the federal government offers. You will need to create an FSA ID. An FSA ID is a federal student aid ID, and each the student and the parent need to create their own FSA ID. So an FSA ID for the student with their information, their date of birth and social security number, and then the parent will create their own ID, their FSA ID, with their own username, password, social security number, and all that. At the end of the FAFSA, each student and parent will have to sign the FAFSA form to submit the FAFSA form. Do not fill out your son or daughter's information using your information to create the FSA ID. Please let the student fill it out, and as a parents, you fill out your own FSA ID so you don't get confused. Okay. And one of the tools that's embedded, that's built in the FAFSA is called the IRS Data Retrieval Tool. All that really means is a tool to help you transfer your income and tax information from the IRS, and it transfers it right automatically into the FAFSA application. So it's a really simple tool. Some students, some parents, some students may be able to use it and some won't, but the FAFSA will let you know if you are able to use the data retrieval tool. If it says, yes, you are able to use the data retrieval tool, please go ahead and go through that process, okay? When to apply. When you should apply is if you're applying for financial aid for this fall, currently this fall 2022, or for the spring of 2023, there's a FAFSA application still available now. So make sure to do that as soon as possible, because it's kind of late to apply for this academic year that we are currently in, the 22-23 academic year. Now, if you are planning of applying for financial aid for the 23-24 academic year, which starts next fall, okay, in 2023, your FAFSA application will be available October 1st. Okay, so that's right around the corner. That's this Saturday, October 1st. The new FAFSA for next academic year, 2023-2024, will be available this Saturday. So please, create your FSA ID and go to the website to fill out the FAFSA.
Thank you, Gustavo. We are also going to be having an event coming up that we'll probably mention again towards the end, but it's called the Paying for College Forum. And we are going to be also helping students fill out the 2023-2024 FAFSA in case you're not able to get to it, or if you need special assistance. There's going to be counselors doing it, assisting students in person and also virtually. So we will just disclose that information later on. So as far as the FAFSA questions are concerned, so what does the FAFSA ask you? They ask you general contact information about the student and the parent. They ask you about your dependency status. So you're either a dependent student or an independent student. You're a dependent student if you are under age 24 and you live with your parents. If you are age 24 and above, then you're considered an independent student. And you can use your own information, for example, your taxes, if you've worked and filed for taxes. So that brings me to that they will ask about your taxes, your income and other financial information, such as your assets. Very important to answer all of those questions. It does tell you sometimes if you would skip those questions, I would suggest that you try to answer each question. And if you're married, it's going to ask you information about your spouse. So it's going to be not only your taxes, but your spouse taxes. Now for the 23-24 FAFSA coming up, it'll be the 2021 taxes that we will be asking you for. And for the 22-23 academic year, it will be the 2020 taxes in case you still have not done those. And if you can go back to the previous slide, I think we're having technical issues, so I do apologize. Okay, it was the previous, there you go. Is this the one? No, previous to this one. Yes, thank you, right there, the FAFSA question. Okay, so additional, it will ask you additional information as well, such as your housing plan and college information.
All right, thank you. So this is what the FAFSA website will look like. So please just take a brief moment to, get familiar with it. But most importantly, take note of the website is fafsa.gov. All right, next slide. We can go to the next slide right here. Go ahead.
Okay, so after completing your FAFSA, you're going to receive a student aid report. It's called SAR, which contains your expected family contribution. That is what we use to determine your financial need and what your award will look like. And you are able to review your SAR. And if you need to make corrections, I think you do have to wait initially before you can make corrections. After doing the FAFSA initially, you have to wait a little bit before you can make corrections, and that will be in your SAR, that information. So after completing the FAFSA, it's very important that you do your financial aid requirements. So that's why it says follow up with your institution, because you're going to need to fill out documentation. For example, if you are selected for verification, we may ask you to provide your tax information, and you're going to have to upload that tax information into your financial aid requirements section, which is found in your MyMC account. You click on financial aid and you scroll down all the way to where it says financial aid requirements. So it's not that you just do the FAFSA and you're done. No, you do the FAFSA, then you do your financial aid requirements. If you don't do your financial aid requirements, your file will be considered incomplete and you will not get awarded. So it's very important to do those financial aid requirements. We're also going to be talking about communicating your special circumstances. If you have a special circumstance, you may want to talk to us, call the financial aid office. For example, if your parent has lost a job, or you're no longer working, and the income has changed, it's very important that that you contact our financial aid office, and we will give you our contact information.
All right, now this is a very important slide. This is important dates and deadlines. So please take note of these dates. Maybe take a screenshot, take a picture of it, put it on your refrigerator as a reminder. October 1st is, again, right around the corner. That is when the new FAFSA is available. Again, that is the application for federal student aid. And the MISFA, the Maryland State Financial Aid Application, which we will talk about that in a moment in the next section, will become available this October 1st. Okay, so that's the number one important date that you must mark on your calendar. And it's always going to be October 1st that the FAFSA is going to be available and the MISFA is going to be available for that following academic year. Yes, so it does, the FAFSA and the MISFA applications are available, quite in some early time. Okay. Another important date are the November 1st. If you are considering scholarships for the spring for Montgomery College scholarships, we also have another important date. January 1st is the deadline for Montgomery College Foundation scholarships. Those are scholarships that are from Montgomery College for Montgomery College students, and that is for the spring semester. March 1st is another important priority deadline or important date. It is the priority date for Maryland grants and scholarships. The priority date for Maryland grants and scholarships. So by March 1st, if you're a Maryland resident and you submitted your FAFSA by March 1st, you will be considered not only for federal financial aid, but also for Maryland financial aid. Okay, March 1st is our Montgomery College priority deadline for you to submit those additional documents that Carly was talking in that previous slide. Those requirements are actually additional forms that are going to be inside your MyMC. So if you submit your additional forms by March 1st, you're going to get your financial aid package sooner than later. Okay, and June 30th is the deadline for Montgomery College Foundation scholarships for the fall. So again, if you're planning on attending in the fall, your Montgomery College scholarships, the deadline for those will be June 30th.
Okay, so now we are going to talk about another source of financial aid, which is state aid.
Yes, and at this point, we want to welcome our Maryland State Representative, Mr. Kendall Cook, so that he can present on the Maryland State Financial Aid.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Kendall Cook. I am the outreach specialist for the Maryland Higher Education Commission. We are located downtown Baltimore, and our job is really to assist you with the financial aid process, really provide that technical assistance. If you get stuck along the way, we're here to help. So we'll go over a few programs that we have. I do work with the Office of Grants Management and also in close collaboration with the Office of Student Financial Assistance. In short, they hold the money that you all will be applying for. Next slide, please. All right, we can go to the next slide that may have been already discussed there. So I do want to talk about the MISFA here. Quite different, a little bit different from the FAFSA. So the MISFA is Maryland's application for for state aid. So some students may not be eligible to apply for federal aid. So in response to that, we have created an application called the MISFA, to where it would still make you eligible for state grant and programs. So a couple of programs that you will be eligible for by way of the MISFA would be the Guaranteed Access, Educational Assistance Grant, Part-Time Grant, Community College Promise, just to name a few. But this application also opens Saturday, October 1st. So regardless of if you are applying for the FAFSA or you're looking towards the MISFA for more undocumented students or ones that have not been, have the tax documentation that is required on the federal application, you can still submit the MISFA and be considered for state aid. Next slide, please. This slide covers our MD-CAPS system. So MD-CAPS, this is the portal to where you'll apply for all state aid. So the very first step is to apply for, complete the FAFSA or MISFA. And then your very next step is that you will want to create an MD-CAPS account. So one thing we always like to tell prospective students is that you want to have a professional email and an email that you check on the regular. So it's very important because once they award you the grant, there's a short timeline and deadline to accept the award. If it is not accepted, it will go to the next person in line and you will not be considered for that state scholarship or grant for that academic year. So this is just a screenshot of the portal. It is also listed on our website, and like most standard systems of creating a username and password, you would just do it on this website as well. Next slide, please. These are just a few of our state grants and scholarships. Our primary one would be the Guaranteed Access Grant, to where students can be awarded up to $20,000 for the academic year. And then we just have other ones listed, such as the Educational Assistant, Senatorial and Delegate, teaching fellows. So some are career occupational grants, some are for unique population, some are legislative. So that's to say that we just have different state grants and scholarships across the board that you might be eligible for. My best advice is to, take a look at our website and just go through grant by grant and just see what you're eligible for. We have listed the specific eligibility criteria per grant, as well as the deadline and application process for it. So again, if you do have any questions or something doesn't quite make sense to you, we have contact information listed on our website as well. Next slide, please. This is another grant that might be appeal to this audience. So this is our Maryland Community College Promise Scholarship. You can receive up to $5,000, but this is a last dollar award, meaning once all federal aid and state aid has been applied, this grant would kick in if you apply for it. So to give an example, if you are Pell eligible, you might receive, let's say, just about $6,000 in Pell grant. And then you could apply for the Educational Assistance Grant and get additional $3,000. Well, if you are looking at the academic year and say there's a student balance on your account of $300, the Maryland Community College Promise Scholarship will kick in and pay that difference. So really great grant to have for students who are interested in doing the community college route. So again, we have listed how to apply, and it is also listed on our website. But I apologize, the steps are out of order on the slide, but the first step is always to complete the FAFSA or MISFA first. And then second step will be create your MD-CAPS account. And third is just apply and make sure you submit all requirement documentation by the deadline of March 1st. For this specific grant, the application will be June 15th, I believe, as noted on the last slide. That's a good observation here to note that they're very specific by the grant. So some deadlines may be March 1st for some of our large dollar grants, whereas the Maryland Community College Promise Scholarship may have a later deadline. So, and it's July 15th, my apologies. So please, please, please pay attention to the specific deadlines listed on the grant that you're interested in applying for. Next slide, please. Again, this is just the eligibility criteria for the Community College Promise. I encourage you to just visit the website. It is based on EFC. So similar to some of the slides that were covered earlier, it would be determined based off what you submit on your FAFSA or MISFA. And next slide, please. We talked about the guaranteed access. And the next slide would be educational assistance grant as well. So just the large takeaways that I want to leave you with and just kind of plant the seed. You always want to complete the FAFSA or MISFA first. So it opens as early as October 1st, which is Saturday. So even if you're unsure of where you're interested in going to college, or if you're going back to school, or you're unsure of your plans for next academic year, I still say go ahead and submit that federal application or the state application for aid. You never know when you'll need it, and it'll just be there waiting on you whenever you're ready to push forward. The second step is to complete the MD-CAPS account. So as soon as you submit the FAFSA or MISFA October 1st, go ahead and do the MD-CAPS account. Create that login and password and make sure just familiarize yourself with the website so that you know what grants are available and you're aware of their deadlines. And third, just submit required documentation by the deadline outlined. For guaranteed access, it will be April 1st, 2023. Next slide, please. We can go to the next one as well. Again, so this is just another scholarship that we have available too. So there's an exhaustive list. Some are need-based, some are career, occupational, and others are by unique population. So there might be a scholarship available if you're left-handed or you have blonde hair. So, I mean, it really just depends. You can even search on Google for scholarships that are available. But specific for the state, they will require you to at least have the MISFA on file. So if you're not eligible for federal aid, you want to go ahead and submit the application for the MISFA. That way you're considered for state aid. Next slide, please. And this just speaks about the legislative scholarships. The best thing that you can do is go to www.mdelect.net. This way you can locate your local delegate or senator. I would literally call the office and say, hey, I'm a upcoming freshman, or I'm interested in pursuing this school for the next academic year. Are there any scholarships or grants that might be available to me as a Maryland resident? And I guarantee you they have a great list that they can send to you, or they can pinpoint you into the right direction. They have plenty of dollars to give, so I would certainly reach out to them. Next slide, please. And tuition waivers. We do have tuition waivers available through the state. This is typically for unaccompanied homeless youth, as well as foster care recipients or students with disabilities. So if any of these may apply to you, feel free to reach out to the Office of Student Financial Assistance or myself, and we can get you connected with the right people to get that tuition waiver applied. And this was some of the private scholarships that I spoke about. So there might be some for being left-handed, or food and drink scholarships like Pepsi or Coca-Cola might have scholarships available to you as well. So what I like to say about this slide, there is no cap to how many scholarships that you can have. So to put it in further context, if you are Pell Grant eligible, you can receive the federal Pell Grant on top of the educational assistance grant, which could be an additional $3,000. Your student balance could be wiped away just by having state and federal aid applied to your account. And you can still apply for scholarships. So once you have, let's say you have your student balance clear with your college, then you can apply for scholarships. You can have scholarships applied to your account, and this is just money back into your pocket for educational expenses. So certainly encourage everyone to exhaust as many scholarships as you can. Yes, next slide, please. Actually, that was the last slide. So just to leave you all with, just to make sure we're checking in, first step, apply for the FAFSA or MISFA as early as October 1st, no later than March 1st. 2, apply for an MD-CAPS account, meaning, or register your MD-CAPS account, I should say. As well, that will be, I would register as early as October 1st, no later than March 1st as well. And then Be familiar with the application and deadlines that the state grant scholarship that you're looking to apply. So some of them may be as early as March 1st. Some may extend as late as July 15th. So just be aware of those deadlines. Feel free to reach out to Maryland Higher Education Commission if you have any questions, or myself. And we look forward to working with you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cook, for taking the time to present with us tonight. We really appreciate your time and all the information that you gave. Thank you so much for giving that summary, which I think is very important. I do want to also let you all know that, there are, when we talk in financial aid, we talk a lot in acronyms. So we talked about FAFSA. That is the application for federal financial aid. Then we also talk about MDCAPS. MDCAPS is the website, the portal where you apply for Maryland aid. And then after you do all those things, you also need to keep in mind that you need to do additional documents, submit additional documents, and communicate with Montgomery College. Where? Through your MyMC portal. So the FAFSA for federal financial aid, MDCAPS for state financial aid, and MyMC for anything that involves Montgomery College. All right, now we're going to talk a little bit more about Montgomery College scholarships and athletic scholarships right here from Montgomery College. And I'll let Carly start us off. Thank you.
Thank you, Gustavo. All right, so this is one of the scholarships that I mentioned earlier. So this type of aid is called institutional aid. And foundation scholarships are very important, and there's so many available through Montgomery College. There's 350 plus scholarships that vary from $250 to $5,000. So I always tell students, don't settle for just federal and state aid. Definitely apply for scholarship, because you never know if you're eligible for one of them. Now, they are based on financial need, merit, and it's based on the major as well, the major that you chose. Each scholarship has a different criteria, so you do have to read thoroughly through that scholarship application to make sure that you meet all of the eligibility requirements. So how do you apply? You go to Academic Works online. So basically you go to montgomerycollege.edu/scholarships, and you go to where it says foundation scholarships, and you're going to see that it says apply online. And when you see that, you click on that and it will take you to the Academic Works portal, which basically has all of the foundation scholarships in there that you can apply for. There is no limit to how many scholarships you can apply for. So I always tell students, apply to as many as you can. And there are deadlines, as we spoke about earlier. So the deadline for the fall is June 30th. June 30th is the deadline to apply for the foundation scholarship for the fall. And for the spring, the deadline is January 1st. So that's coming up. So you definitely want to check out that portal, check out all the scholarships, and apply as soon as you're able to.
This is just a list of our scholarships. Again, at MC, we have over 300 scholarships. And just to keep in mind, we just added another portal. If you got to notice on that previous slide that Carlibet was at, Academic Works. Okay, so if you want to access Montgomery College scholarships, now go to the foundations. I'm going to leave the link on the chat, but you will have to use Academic Works to access the Montgomery College scholarships that we have. We have over 400 different scholarships. They all have different requirements and deadlines. So you have to first create your account through Academic Works, and then it'll filter out the scholarships that fit your profile. And then you will then have to apply as needed, as you'd like to pursue those specific scholarships. So again, Academic Works is also part of Montgomery College. and that's how you get access to our, hundreds of scholarships that we offer at MC.
And thank you, Gustavo. I do want to mention that there is a general application that you fill out first. And then, like Gustavo said, it filters it out to see what scholarships you may qualify for based on your profile. So definitely take the time to fill out that general application. Next slide, please. Thank you. So there are scholarships that are based on your major. So as you can see on the screen, if you're an accounting major, if you're an art major, biology major, there's all types of scholarships, education, engineering, nursing. So certainly check out the scholarships for the specific majors as well, and make sure you list your major on the main foundation scholarship application, so it will filter out that type of scholarship for you. Next slide, please. Okay, so there's also a Board of Trustees grant that's available. If you're not able to fill out the FAFSA, this is another option for you. If you're a graduate from an MCPS high school and you graduated within the last 3 years, you qualify for this grant. You have to have a GPA of 2.0 or higher. Your family income needs to be under 100,000. And the grant amount could be, or is actually, 1,000 per semester. And the good thing is that it's renewable every year. So this is the My MC student portal. And the way that you access all of the tools that you're going to need as a student at Montgomery College is through your MyMC portal. So you're going to log in and you're going to click on the financial aid tab, and you're going to go where it says Foundation Scholarship Application. Okay, now we're going to move on to the athletic scholarships.
Thank you, Carly-Vet. So the athletic scholarships, like was mentioned before, we are Division I and Division II in the Junior College Athletic Association. So we have competitive sports, and we also award our talented athletes. There are different scholarships: Board of Trustees Athletic Potential Scholarship. There is the General Athletic Scholarship, the R. Thomas Walker Athletic Scholarships. There's different scholarships available. As you can see, there's different requirements. I'm also going to continue to add the athletic scholarship information, excuse me, on the website for you to follow up through the athletic department and the athletic scholarships. But again, it's very important that you all, again, try to do as many scholarships through the main portal, which is the Academic Works, which again will filter these scholarships for you as well if you are an athlete. Next slide, please.
Okay, so now we're going to be talking about private sources of aid. Next slide, please. So for private sources of aid, there's different websites that you can check out. So there's the herblockfoundation.org that you can look at. You can also look at different civic groups, local civic groups, your local library, your church. And the way the process works is that you have the organization send the scholarship check to Montgomery College. So whatever scholarship you are able to find, you're going to have them send the check to Montgomery College directly. Now there is another website called fastweb.com. That's a very common one where you can also find private sources of aid. The scholarship will be applied to your tuition and fees. Anything in excess will be refunded to the student and are eligible to be used towards a book voucher. depending on the conditions of each individual scholarship. So definitely look into private sources of aid as well, because you never know, again, what you may find. And just like the other one that we talked about, the foundation scholarship and how there's a filter, there is also a way that they can filter the different types of private sources that you may find. It's also based on, you know, race, ethnicity, and very different, a lot of different factors, your major, and I've even seen private scholarships based on disability. So there's different categories of private scholarships that you're not going to find necessarily with institutional scholarships. So it's always a good resource to look into. And if you have any scholarship questions, definitely send your questions to scholarships@montgomerycollege.edu. We have a whole team of people dedicated to answering questions about scholarships, particularly all the ones we've talked about. You can ask a question about. Their response time is typically within 2 business days, so give them at least 2 business days. Include your full name and M number if you have one. So definitely the M number is always good to include if you do have it, so that they have a point of reference.
All right, folks, we are coming to the near end of our presentation. Thank you for everybody who was able to stay with us. We just want to go a little bit through the summary of what we've gone through and all this presentation. We started with admissions, so help you get into Montgomery College. Then we talked about the achieving the promise support, so that helps you stay in college. And then the second half was mainly everything about financial aid. So one thing that we definitely want to remind you all of is the financial aid process right here for Montgomery College. So again, just to summarize, every October 1st, you will need to submit and resubmit the FAFSA or the MISFA. The FAFSA is for students who are U.S. citizens, permanent residents, asylee, refugees, that are eligible non-citizens. And the MISFA is another application that's part of the Maryland Department of Education, MDCAPS. And the MISFA is specifically targeted for students who don't have the immigration status to fill out the FAFSA. So we're talking about our undocumented students, our dreamers, our documented students. You go into MDCAPS and find the MISFA, again, every October 1st. After you do the FAFSA or the MISFA, you will then need to complete the additional required documents. These are required forms that are inside your MyMC. So like it says on that little box, use MyMC, go to the financial aid requirements section, okay? After you have submitted all your documents, then we can finally approve all of your financial aid, okay? We cannot approve financial aid until you do the number 1 and number 2, which is the FAFSA and submitting the documents, okay? So that can, when we approve your file can vary from student to student. But once it's all complete, we can then approve your financial aid package, and you will be able to see your financial aid package where? Right on your MyMC account. If I go into that icon that says financial aid tools, view and accept my awards. So the section is called financial aid tools. There's many tools under that section, and one of those tools is this little money icon where you can view and accept your awards. Now, if you've been awarded grants from the state, if you have been awarded scholarships from the state, or scholarships and grants from the federal government through the FAFSA, we automatically, Montgomery College will automatically accept those grants and scholarships. If you have been offered a loan from the federal government, you will have to decide if you want to use the loan, and if you want to use the loan, how much of that loan amount that you want to use. Okay, so those are your main steps, 1, 2, and 3. After you have finished all those steps, Now you have to sit back and wait for us to use that money that you've accepted to pay your bill, okay? And that's a process that our system does automatically, usually 4 weeks after your classes have started, okay? So just keep that in mind, that you will have a bill for the first few weeks of your semester, because we will not do disbursement until you have gone to class, and that usually takes about 4 weeks for us to clear that out and pay your bill. Okay, so that is the financial aid process. Please keep in mind that, and let's go to the next slide. What to do again after completing the FAFSA. Again, turn in your additional documents. There's so many times where students think that they have to do the FAFSA, and then now they tell them that they've been approved for a certain amount, but they haven't gone into our MyMC portal and finished those additional documents, and that can take a while. So please, after you do the FAFSA, usually in January, if you're doing the FAFSA for 23-24, if you do the FAFSA, let's say in November, we will add those additional documents for that next academic year around middle or late January, okay? And you'll get an email to your MyMC email, to your Montgomery College email, notifying you, hey, by the way, please do these additional documents, okay? So you will always be notified via email if you have additional documents to submit. Like we were saying before, after you do the FAFSA or the MISFA, you have to apply for more scholarships, whether it's from MD CAPS from the state of Maryland, or private scholarships, or if you're applying for DC TAG, if you're a DC resident, find out what those other scholarships that you're eligible for, and continue that application process for additional scholarships. Again, we just want to remind you about the important dates and deadlines. Right here on October 1st, like we mentioned before, the FAFSA and MISFA is available every year. March 1st is the Maryland state deadline. If you want to be considered for Maryland aid, March 1st is that deadline. If you, for whatever reason, do the FAFSA after March 1st, then you'll be considered for only federal financial aid and possibly some Montgomery College scholarships and grants, okay? But you will miss out on that portion from the state of Maryland, okay? So again, Maryland wants you to finish your FAFSA by March 1st. So we always encourage students to do the FAFSA or the MISFA as soon as possible. Next slide, please. Just like at any point that you have to collect money, there are some requirements when you're asking for money. So there is some requirements for the student to uphold, whether it's academic or refund policies. All these policies and procedures, conditions, and all this stuff is listed inside your MyMC. So please go log into your MyMC and read all the fine print for all the different types of situations that may occur. All of our policies are there for you to review. If it's too much, if you have questions, please contact us either by phone, by email, or make an appointment to see us. We also understand, Carly Beth, did you want to talk about the special circumstance?
Sure. So if we mentioned earlier about special circumstances, and for example, losing a job, or if you went through a divorce, or anything like that that would affect your income, is really important to communicate to us. Definitely communicate to us if any unusual circumstances, special circumstances have happened. Some of the examples are here on this slide. For example, parent or spouse death, that would be unfortunate, but definitely communicate that to us. Unusual uncovered medical dental expenses. secondary school tuition, student cannot obtain parental information. We can help you with those special circumstances, and there are different appeals that you can do. There's a professional judgment that you can file if you have a difference of income between what you made during the tax year that you're reporting versus what you're making now. If you've lost income, you definitely want to let us know about that. And you can file a professional judgment, and we can give you instructions on how to do that. There's also a dependency override in the case that you cannot obtain parental information. We have a special appeal for you to file. So there is help and support available. You just have to contact our office, and we'll tell you exactly what you need to do to do the appeal process.
All right, at this point, we want to also bring in our leader, Rhonda McLaren Scott, who is going to cover another resource that we have on campus, the Educational Opportunity Center.
Well, thank you so much for having me here. I do want to speak about the Educational Opportunity Center because it's something that is available to all students, pretty much all students that are eligible to complete the FAFSA. Are eligible to do this to use the Educational Opportunity Center. And I'll get into it further. The goal of this center is to increase the number of low-income or first-generation adults enrolling into post-secondary institutions. It has been around for at least 50 to 60 years now. And it is something that a lot of people have used. It can actually go with you from this school to help you transfer to your next school, help you go on to get your bachelor's degree. So the program provides one-on-one group assistance in the following areas: admissions and counseling, also GED prep, scholarship search, and financial aid assisting. It can also help with career counseling as well. All you need to do is schedule an appointment and fill out their intake form. If you want to take a screenshot of this screen, that would help you, so that way you would be able to get assistance with them. You can use the website on montgomerycollege.edu and then put EOC in the search box. You'll be able to get to that link where you can get to do the intake form. And you'd have a college counselor that can help you as you're navigating things. They can start from high school and help you go on right through. And of course, if you have further questions and you need to talk to financial aid, it is always a good idea to send us an email at financialaid@montgomerycollege.edu, as well as remember to try to like, follow, and share on Facebook and Twitter. It's at Financial Aid MC. And there's a lot of upcoming opportunities and scholarships that we have available that we post on the social media networks.
Thank you so much, Rhonda. And now it's my favorite time, the Q&A session. We are going to go through your questions and see if we can answer them as soon as possible. The first question is, if a student signs up for classes, but financial aid doesn't make it through for 1 year or another, would that student be dropped from classes immediately, or would those classes be held until the financial aid clears? Who wants to take that question? Rhonda?
Okay, I think I heard them say that if they wanted to drop their class, is that, can you repeat
Let
that?
me let me try to rephrase it again. So if a student signs up for a class, but financial aid doesn't make it through for one reason or another, would the student be dropped from classes immediately?
No, that's not how it works. When you complete your financial aid application, there is a a form that you would fill out called the class reservation form. Using that form, that would hold your classes while we're processing your financial aid. So even if it's into the spring and the next semester, you're still eligible to receive that fall financial aid in case there's some difficulties with completing your application. So no, you would not be kicked out. There are situations where students will be dropped from classes, and that is usually in the beginning if you have not applied for financial aid yet. We do what are called deletions. And so if you have if you've started your application, so if you started payment plan, then okay, that's fine. You started payment plan, or if you've paid it off in full, fine, we can work with that. But if you haven't done either of those and you haven't applied for financial aid, then you would be deleted from the class. And that's usually within the first 3 weeks, just before the class starts, usually is when deletions occur.
Just to give you a timeline.
Not once you're in. Once you're in the class, you're in.
So yeah, so this is why we stress so much that important date of October 1st, doing the FAFSA as soon as possible, because after you do the FAFSA, those additional forms, the reservation form that Rhonda just mentioned, will be available in your MyMC as early as January or February, to give you enough time to submit those forms before the fall semester starts. All right, so the class reservation form will protect your classes. So thank you for that great question, because we do get a lot of phone calls and emails about that. It is a process that so we hope that clears up some of that confusion. Next question. If you are applying for the spring semester, is the FAFSA that is available October 1st the one you should be applying for? Is that okay? Who wants to answer that question?
I'll answer the question. Oh, so the FAFSA that you're going to apply for, I'll use the example of the 23-24 academic year. It's for the whole year. So it includes fall, spring, and summer. Okay. So it definitely, if for example, if it's a 23-24 FAFSA, then it'll include all 3 semesters. There are a couple policies and stuff that you should also be aware of. So depending on if you're full-time and the amount of credits that you're enrolled in also matters as far as how much aid you're going to receive. But you're definitely covered for those 3 semesters. Once you fill out that one FAFSA, you just fill it out that one time for the entire academic year.
Thank you, Carly-Vet. So if you're applying for spring semester, if you're trying to get classes financial aid for spring semester, you need to do the financial aid form that's available right now, not the one that's on October 1st, but the one that is available right now. It is the 22-23 FAFSA. So that's the one you need to do right now if you are trying to attend and get financial aid for spring 2023. Very good. The next question is, if you have a previous FSA ID account with a parent, do you have to create another one if you're applying a loan now? Rhonda, do you want to take that question?
Sure. No, the FSA ID account is your personal identifier. So it's how the federal government is going to identify you when you do your FAFSA, and it's how your parent would be identified as well. So once you've created it, you don't need to keep recreating it. And your parents, once they've done it, it's fine. They can use that to sign for you. They can use that to sign for your sibling as well. Okay.
Very good. Thank you. So just to recap, you create one FSA ID for the parent and one for the student, and you don't have to remake another one or recreate another one. Very good. Next question, FSA ID question. Here we go. Hot topic. So kids create one. Yes. I assume married parents just create one ID and password between them. Right. You could have, if you have one kid, they create one. If there's 2 parents, at least one of them needs to create an FSA ID. If both of them created it, great. But again, remember, each FSA ID is for each individual person, an individual, okay? And then they go on to ask, and then the kid and not parent. And then the kid ID and the parent ID are connected, linked. Yes, the student will create an FSA ID. They will start the FAFSA application. It is their FAFSA application. And then when it asks for parent information, yes, the parent can enter their information. At the end, since it requires the student signature and a parent signature, the student will sign using their username and password, and the parent will sign using their username and password. So that's how it works. Does the kid cross-reference parent ID and parent cross-reference kid ID? No, you just create an ID on the website, on the FSA ID. The cross-referencing, don't worry about that. Just let the FAFSA application ask you the questions and then answer them correctly, because most of the questions on the FAFSA are about student, and when it's the time to answer questions about the parent, answer the question as a parent. There is no need to worry about cross-referencing. The FAFSA does it already automatically for you. Just read the questions carefully. Next question. A lot of students are just starting to work in 2022 and have no prior history of taxes. Do they need to report 2022 estimated taxes or just focus on 2021 tax and income? Carly Vet, do you want to take that question?
Sure. So for I'm assuming you're referring to the 23-24 FAFSA. So for the 2023 to 2024 FAFSA, what you're going to need to submit are the taxes from 2021. Okay. So for it's always 2 years prior taxes. So for example, if there's anyone who still needs to do their 22-23 FAFSA, that required the 2020 taxes, right? Because it's 2 years prior. But for the 23-24, it will be the 2021 taxes that you need to worry about. And that is what you're going to be submitting.
Thank you very much, Carly Vet. So just to recap, so if your son or daughter is working in 2022, the FAFSA is not going to ask for their taxes from 21. They're going to ask for tax information if they worked in 2020. That's what they're going to ask. And if they didn't work in 2020, guess what? They're just going to say, no, we did not work. No, we did not file taxes. All right. Next question. Who owns all the data that one is entering into this FAFSA system? Okay. Rhonda, do you want to take that that question?
Yes, the Department of Education.
The Department of Education. Yes, the U.S. Department of Education. Thank you for handling all that and being secure. Next question. Since everyone is saying to do the FAFSA as soon as possible, but to get the aid, we have to work with Montgomery County to upload, Montgomery College to upload the documentation or risk losing aid. That seems to me that we have to apply and get accepted to Montgomery College just as quickly or risk losing the offered aid. Is this correct? I'll take this question. So yes, you do the FAFSA. Again, the FAFSA is to request financial aid from the federal government, okay? The federal government, whether you go to Montgomery College or you go to another institution, they're going to give you that aid regardless of where you go, okay? If you go to Montgomery, if you come to the Montgomery College, we will get that information and we will use that aid to help you pay your bill. But yes, you will have to do those additional forms in your MyMC portal. In fact, I'll even say this, every college and university, after you do the FAFSA, you will have to do additional forms that each university or college has through their own portal. So you do the FAFSA, you go to Montgomery College, you go to MyMC and do our forms. If you go to another university, you will have to log into their portal and do their additional financial aid forms. okay? And we give you enough time, and that's why we have the reservation form for us to collect that information, and you can still go to classes even if you have, even if you don't have all your documents submitted. That reservation form is going to protect your classes from being dropped or from having to pay at the moment. But that is, again, why we encourage you to do the FAFSA and all the additional documents as soon as possible.
Thank
Carly,
you,
go ahead.
Gustavo. I also want to add that on the FAFSA, you can add up to 10 schools. So, you know, if Montgomery College is just one of those schools that you're interested in, awesome. We want you to come to Montgomery College. However, if you are interested in other, you know, colleges and other institutions, you're able to put 10 colleges or universities on the FAFSA, and they're going to get it. And then you, you know, apply to those colleges. And then, like Gustavo said, you're going to have to go through whichever one you choose to go to. You're going to have to go through their portal and you know, their system to be able to do those additional requirements.
And I'd also like to add, when you are completing the FAFSA, you have to make sure if you're interested in getting that promised scholarship, you have to put down a Maryland Community College on your FAFSA in order to qualify to see if you can receive any of the promised scholarship funds. So again, that is it's a community college promised scholarship. It's about one that's going to work at the university level. So if that's what you're interested in, it's your first 2 years, I would go ahead and make sure that you put a community college in there so that that way you can compare and see how much aid you're going to be receiving at that college versus at the other universities and things like that. And Gustavo.
Thank you for clarifying, everybody. So another questions, it is about FAFSA and MISFA, okay? So if you qualify for FAFSA, but don't get a lot of financial aid offered, should you also try to apply for the MISFA?
Absolutely not. Sorry.
No.
Never, never, never do the FAFSA and the MISFA. It will delay your processing. And when I say delay processing, what I'm speaking of is the institutional aid that is given out to students whose files are complete and show need. If your student file is getting confused because you've done a MISFA and a FAFSA, that delays processing. So while we're trying to figure out which application is yours, institutional aid is being given to students who did it correctly. So try your best to do it correctly the first time. We're here to help you if you need help, but never do both. You should only be doing one, and it's driven by your immigration status. Good question.
Great question, thank you. This is another scenario question. I was approved for the FAFSA Pell Grant and MD-CAPS grant, and it has not been added to my balance. I would recommend contacting us because this is a personal situation. You may have some unsatisfied requirements. You may need to submit additional forms, or maybe your financial aid is pending and it's on its way. So please give us a call tomorrow at our phone number, and we can help you answer that question. Are there any other questions that we have missed on the chat or anywhere else?
I think there were some on the chat.
Okay, so here's another example scenario question. If there is a scholarship for a law major and the student drops from that major at some point, would that scholarship have to be returned? So they were a law student, got a law scholarship, and then at some point they changed their major. Will that scholarship be returned?
I don't believe it would be, but again, each scholarship and grant has its own conditions of awards. So you want to just check to make sure, well, what are the conditions involved? Do you have to go full-time? Do you have to go part-time? Do you have to take a specific program? So, it really depends on who you got the award from and what their conditions were.
Very good answer. Thank you.
And I want to add also, if this is among an institutional scholarship that we, have given you at Montgomery College, then you definitely, want to contact the scholarships office, because we have a team of people that are dedicated just to scholarships that we offer. So if it is one of ours, then definitely contact scholarships@montgomerycollege.edu.
Very good. And I think that wraps up the Q&A section and wraps up our financial aid night. Thank you to all of our presenters who stayed with us and presented tonight with us. And most importantly, thank you to all the parents, all the students that have tuned in tonight. And of course, our colleagues from the admissions, recruitment, and our outreach team here that we have here. Ladies, do you want to say goodbye or any other final words?
No, just thank you to everyone for coming. Hopefully you found this very informative. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. I also want to thank our ATPA folks for giving their presentation and giving us all of those great resources. So please, contact us, contact everyone here, whoever you have a question about, go to our website and go to their webpage. Thank you.
And thank you very much, Gustavo, Carlevet, and the rest of the team. Thank you so much for being here to present this beautiful presentation. And again, this will be recorded and put on our website so that people can watch it for more information later. Have a good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.